Thanks for voting.
Politics are now a lot more polarizing. You have a lot of separate groups moving around in the state, and your neighbor is not the neighbor that you had when you moved in 20 years ago.
I mean, I do have friends as Democrats, and we stay friends. We avoid the religion and the politics. It's the best way to stay friends.
I'm Republican. I have family that are Democrats, and we don't talk about it. I love my family dearly, but we don't talk about it.
We have less contact with people of opposing political views because
we don't like them.
One of the things that has changed in recent years is people tend to live with other people of the same partisan stripe.
in our...
Anyway, people we know do not seem to be Republicans.
Our residential partisanship has really come to flower, and people tend to live with people like them.
Up here, and we're originally from Chicago, I feel there are fewer people of opposing political views in our circle of friends than there were in the Chicago area.
Well, I'm conservative, and I've got some children that are very liberal. And I want to converse with them and talk with them and listen to opinions and accept one another's views, but they don't. They're the lefties. They don't listen to anybody else.
Are you 18 years of
Yes.
age or older?
It's awfully easy to have less contact with people who have different views than you. You have to make an effort nowadays to maintain contact.
I think there is less contact with people of opposing political views. It saddens me, the present situation, whether it's Milwaukee County or Waukesha County. There is such a lack of integrity that it's hard to know who to trust to really carry out your votes when you are concerned about certain issues.
Split ticket voting is another one of the things that's changed dramatically over time. If you go back to the 1980s, we could see split ticket voting with 20 or even 25% of Republicans voting for a Democrat and of Democrats voting for a Republican. Today, that's down in the single digits and often even the low single digits, where both strong Republicans and strong Democrats are voting 90, 95% for their candidate.
In the past, I have voted for Republicans. Actually in college, I was conservative. And it's only over the course of time that I've become more liberal. But I don't think I've become more liberal. I think the Republican Party has become more conservative. And so I basically got pushed out.
I'm a Republican, but I was a Democrat before. My union is Democratic. And there's too many unions. The prices are too high. It's driving everything out of price range.
It seems like the Democrats have a very narrow focus, and there's good positions, especially in the Tea Party. I don't know. It's a difficult question to answer. And to keep hope.
Tommy Thompson was the other paragon of crossover voting. I think in the current context, the most striking thing is that Tommy Thompson won Milwaukee and won Madison. Those are things that it's just very hard to imagine a Republican doing. But by the same light, Herb Kohl won in Waukesha County. Another thing that would be very hard to imagine a Democratic Senate candidate doing these days. So over the years, our willingness to cross over has gotten much less, and the sharp divisions between the bluest counties and the reddest counties have become all the starker.
People, are very polarized, and that's too bad. I have to work on it myself, I'll confess.
When you turn 18, when you're Brenna's age, you get to do the same thing. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to not engage when people tend to have extreme views, because they tend not to move from those views. So I try to engage in discussions only when they are rational and will listen to reason or have a meaningful debate.
What we see in the Marquette Law School data, though, is that about a third of voters said there was someone they had quit talking to about politics because they disagreed so much.
And you have had no name change?
Nope.
People can't discuss anymore. Right away, it's anger and so forth.
You can't have a discussion without it almost coming to blows. Like, lighten up.
There's no point in it, because if someone is very strong in their position, there's really nothing you can do nowadays to change their position.
It's more of a, I guess, a discussion of your viewpoint rather than trying to sway someone, because it seems like most people have their minds completely made up.
I think it's pretty
Silly.
useless.
You can't
Arguments about politics.
Right. We get along. We just have different points of view.
I think Democrats I think they've taken it too far. I think they went too far one way, that that everybody they're not letting people reach their full potential.
I'm gonna go to 45. Whoa, isn't that fast? Yeah. What numbers is that now?
Unfortunately, it's so polarizing right now. Kumbaya moments are not around the corner.
I think it's the Democrats that are, that's where the division comes in, when they won't even take a vote on issues.
I bet you'd like if it had the Statue of Liberty, right?
Yeah. I try not to get in a heated discussion on politics, because then friendships are gone. Yeah, it's for sure not worth ruining a friendship over politics.
It's just become a very divisive environment. But I'm not surprised by this, because whenever times get difficult, and we've had tough economic times, there's less on the table for everyone to fight over, and it gets nasty then. And so I think that is the main reason. Our economy has not been growing, and so therefore it has become more mean-spirited, because there's simply less resource to go around.